Have you always dreamed of exploring new places, traveling the world, and immersing yourself in new cultures, but no one else close to you has the same dream? I'm here today to encourage you to finally take that solo trip, and I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks so you can have the best trip ever. Let's go. The first thing to know is that these days, going solo doesn't always mean going alone. If you're someone who wants to see the world, but you are just not a planner, there are quite a few female-focused travel groups that you can reach out to either plan and organize a solo trip just for you, or you could join one of their group trips that allows you to be a little more flexible with the excursions that you want to do. My favorite company, and this is not a sponsored video, is She's the World Travel. They have multiple trips planned for this year. And if you want to travel with me, I'm going to be joining one of those trips this summer. My mom and I are actually going to Ireland in July with She's the World. And then next year in 2025, I'm going to be leading a group trip to the Maldives. And I'm including these trips under solo travel because you don't have to have anyone to sign up with you, and you can choose to do as much or as little as you'd like to do with the group. There are plenty of opportunities for you to do your own exploring, but know that all of those pesky details have been taken care of by somebody else, like your transportation and accommodations. If you are the adventurous type who does like to do your own planning and you're ready to venture into the world on your own, the first thing I would recommend is researching the best countries for locales that are good for single women for traveling alone. Most places I have gone in the last 5 years, I have felt completely safe, and I would highly, highly recommend going as a solo woman. And those include Japan, Iceland, Seoul, Korea, Nicaragua, surprisingly, and I have firsthand experience of how great those are. Some other places that have a great reputation for solo women travelers are Portugal, Amsterdam, Norway, which I'm hoping to go to soon, Spain, New Zealand, and Ireland. Each of these is going to be a very, very different cultural experience. So choosing one is going to really depend on what you want to do, see, and probably eat. Are any of y'all planning a trip to one of these places this year? I think I saw quite a few of you say Ireland in my community post that I put up a couple of weeks ago about, solo vacations this year. So let me know in the comments if you're going on a solo vacation this year. Once you have your destination picked out, I would go ahead and book your accommodations. As much as I am pretty much fly by the seat of my pants and be fairly flexible when I travel solo, I like knowing that I have a place to lay my head each night. Most places these days have a 24-hour cancellation policy, so it's not a huge deal to change your plans once you're in the country. As much as I love Airbnb and VRBO, if you are traveling alone as a woman over 40, I would book stays at reputable hotels or motels. There is a great organization called Sister Stay that's a global homestay program specifically for women over 50. They completely vet both the host and the visitors by personally verifying everyone. And I love that it was started by women in their 50s for women in their 50s. If you're interested, I'll have their info linked below. You could consider staying at a hostel, but I don't know about you, but my sleep issues these days, I don't think I could share a bunk room with the youngsters. What about you? Would you be willing to take a chance on staying at a hostel these days? I did stay at quite a few back in 1990 when I did my post-graduation tour of Europe, but I'm not sure it would work so well these days. The next step is to plan your transportation from the airport to your first accommodation. Having everything planned out and set up in advance for that first day or 2 days of your trip will go a long way to making the rest of your trip the incredible experience you want it to be. I personally prefer having a shuttle or a ride scheduled through my accommodations already arranged with contact information for everyone in case of delays. I don't want to have to figure out public transportation the minute I walk off of a plane, especially if I've been flying for 10 or 15 hours. And a note here about rideshare opportunities too. The Uber or whatever rideshare is available in that country, because not all countries have Uber and Lyft. But those rideshare companies from the airport, I mean, they're great, and I hesitate to. Honestly, I don't really want to use them in a foreign country. That's my take on it. They're probably just fine, but if I'm traveling by myself, I would just rather have the accommodations have that scheduled for me. Most hotels and motels are going to have an airport shuttle, so that should be a no-brainer. And if you're staying at an Airbnb or VRBO, sometimes they will have drivers that they use on a regular basis, and I would book through them. But I'm not keen on arriving in a foreign country and immediately getting into a rideshare by myself. So just that's a note. I'm not an overly cautious person, generally speaking, but that's something I would probably be pretty cautious about. And the last thing that you want to have in place the night or day you arrive is a place to eat. It should be easily accessible from your accommodations and meet your dietary needs if you have them. You don't want to be stuck trying to get through your first 12 to 24 hours in a place with only the snacks that you packed for the plane. I've had really good luck using Google Maps to find pretty fantastic food during my trips. Even when I'm still in the planning stages sitting at home, you can look up a location and look for food around that location. And I have found some great restaurants that way. Congratulations, you've made it through the first night. What do you do now? Surprisingly, just leaving your hotel room can be a really intimidating part of the trip if you are new to solo travel. You've done all the things to get you there, and now you have kind of a blank slate in front of you. I would highly recommend and encourage you to book a walking tour of the area. This will give you a lay of the land and an opportunity to engage with others. The places I like to go to try to find a good walking tour are like Viator, Airbnb experiences. You could even try Guru walk. He's a guru walk. Oh Lord, that is hard to say. I will have the links listed below in the description. Oh, my tongue just can't get around some words. Also, don't feel like you have to do everything all at once. For me, one of the beauties of solo travel is enjoying a slow morning at my own pace, finding a charming place for coffee and people watching. In fact, I would encourage you to take a break from technology and soak up the vibe and culture around you. I mean, that's part of the big reason you're there. I'm going to be honest, this is a tough one for me to do because I'm constantly wanting to capture everything on video or with a picture, especially since I document everything here on YouTube. But something that does help is keeping my phone on airplane mode when I am out and about touring around. Not only does this help keep me in the moment and not being distracted by all of those phone notifications, but it also saves me money if I'm only using my phone when I have access to Wi-Fi. And because I use a VPN, I feel totally secure using open Wi-Fi when it's available. And I use it mostly to get directions to get to my next stop or occasionally upload something to Instagram. If you're interested, I do use Surfshark VPN, and they have a special for my community if you use the link below. It is so easy to install and use, and it just gives you that added sense of security that your personal information isn't going to get stolen. And then again, this is not sponsored, but I do get a little bit of commission if you use my link down below. Talking about a sense of security, I obviously and unfortunately need to talk about protecting yourself and your important documents, cards, and money when traveling solo. First thing to know is that it is absolutely okay to lie. If someone asks you if you're traveling alone, you're never traveling alone. You're waiting for a friend, or your husband or boyfriend are off doing something else and will be back soon. You know, those types of little white lies. This is especially true if your spidey sense is telling you there is something off about the person who's asking. Some other simple, basic ways of protecting your items are by using a suitcase with built-in locks, like my level 8 suitcase, choosing a day bag that you wear on your front, like a sling bag or a crossbody purse. Even better if those bags have slash-proof straps and is RFID protected. At the very least, you want to carry a wallet that is RFID protected. Also, don't wear headphones around where you can't hear what is going on around you. Feel free to wear them as a deterrent for other people talking to you, but don't actually have anything playing in those headphones. You need to be aware at all times of what is going on around you. A couple of other things, I would also consider purchasing travel insurance just in case something does happen to you. It is a very inexpensive way to give you a little peace of mind. And lastly, you might consider using the safe included in your room for all of your important documents and extra cash. But don't forget to grab it when it is time to check out. A tip I learned from the wonderful Samantha Brown is to leave one of your travel day shoes in the safe with everything else, because you might forget your passport, but you are not going to go to the airport with only one shoe. Obviously, if you're wearing those shoes around on your trip a lot, this might not work for you, but I still thought it was a fun tip to share. Solo traveling at our age is an adventure I think everyone should experience at least once. It is such a great learning experience. Not only do you learn more about the community you visit, but you're going to learn so much more about yourself. There is one more thing about solo travel that you need to know. This is going to be the time that you want to pack light, because it's going to be up to you to carry everything that you bring during the whole trip. For some advice on how to pack light as a Gen X'er, check out this video next. Again, thank you so much for watching, and safe travels.